Bryant, the soil doctor,
we in our dark uniforms, bro.
Notice on the report it even says he works with Build-A-Soil because we'll send it through Build-A-Soil to him and he'll give you the interpretation. But emitting potting soil can be different. There's some nuances there. It's not the same as the soil that's in the earth. And although the organic matter is high, that causes some differences from normal soil testing. Also, the size of the scoop they use to measure, there's a lot of nuances in there, and there's a lot of agreement and disagreement within the soil testing community. So, what I'm going to share with you today is a little bit about my process, and I'm going to follow the soil doctor Bryant's prescription almost to the T.
I always fuck with my blue shit when I'm at home.
You get your own soil prescription.
So for future references, even though you're going to forget, I'm always in blue when you play me.
The person who gave you the recommendation and how you would do that with these books. I'm going to share with you the difference.
We ain't got too many uniforms, man. I hate them phony ass white uniforms. So
how you can just follow the Build-A-Soil way and explain
Today's sports coverage to the NFL brings us to the Lone Star State in the very mammoth AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. Obviously, they do everything big here in Dallas, and the introduction of the Cowboys.
You must be from DC or VA or somewhere.
As their guys will do battle with the Philadelphia Eagles.
And then we're actually going to take all the amendments, the micronutrients, the micronutrients in the water. We're going to go in and
take it a yard or so past the 20.
I'm going to re-amend it.
We got the re-send.
And show you exactly what it takes to get the job done. Okay, so I mentioned the soil
you hear me?
Let's just jump in and I'm going to go over it.
I'm going to send it again.
But I just want to
put your white on or something.
You might not be able to see it on camera, but I'm just going to talk about it. So you're going to get a report like this from the soil doctor. This is the general notes on the take and bake number 2. It's not a number 2 recipe, it's just the second cycle, and I indicated that on the soil test. And then right up front it says your total available nutrient level is moderate. The goal should be to increase levels slowly while focusing on balance. And of course, that's what we want to do. Your pH is very close to the target pH. Estimated soil solution EC is 1.42. Mid-feeding recommendations. So here's the way you get the report. If I had just taken the soil test and I was mid-season, my plants are already growing in it, the recommendation for applications would be slightly different than at a re-amend. Because at a re-amend, I have no plants growing. I can apply a little bit more loosely everything that I want to the soil. You can mix it in, you can lightly till the top inch or so, and you don't have to worry about the plants. Where if you're putting micronutrients in and all these things and the plants are growing, you don't want to overdo it right in the root zone, and you have to have some special considerations. So for the first one, feed liquid nitrogen. We recommend amino acids, and it's what I usually use. In fact, I'll probably grab that bag. I've got 2 of them. I've got a fish amino acid. It's actually freeze-dried fish. It's it's a primo fish hydrolysate. And we've got the Build-A-Soil aminos, which is a non-GMO organic soy.
We're sandwiched between Fort Worth and Dallas, Texas, and Arlington at the luxurious AT&T Stadium. A moment ago, here was the scene with the Cowboys emerging from their tunnel. It was loud. It's still loud. We're ready for football as the Cowboys get set to match up with the Philadelphia Eagles. 2 weeks have come and gone. It's on to week 3, and we're underway on EA Sports.
There's a better way to go. I'll explain what we're going to do
Very short kick taken right at the 20, and they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30.
With organics, everything's pretty forgiving. The only thing that we're going to do today and discuss, which we normally don't do, is these little bits of sulfates here, like copper sulfate, manganese sulfate, zinc sulfate. Typically what we would use is a pre-mixed product, but really those are already in it, and they're approved for organic use when you have a soil test that proves that you do need those micronutrients, and that's how the whole process is typically run. Down here, I've got big 6. You'll notice we talk about
Sanders on first down, not finding much of anything there as he might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. This defense for the Cowboys very strong last week as they helped their squad improve to 2-0 on the young season.
And no matter what's done throughout a ball game, it always comes back to blocking and tackling. That's the essence of football. But I think it's hard for people to understand just how difficult it is to tackle, especially at the field. Very few missed tackles on tape that I saw last game. This team does a nice job of getting their opponents on the ground.
Mixing this in with the granules instead of watering them in, and I'll explain that. So before I get too far, let me just keep going down the line. Tips. Multiple small applications
Here's
for
second and 10.
Is preferable to one large application. The reason why we don't really talk about water only
play action.
Here's Hurts. Is, first of all, there's plant size containers. I mean, if you grow a
there's the first NFL catch for Devontae Smith. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. So the completion there, and CD, as we know, trying to defend against an NFL quarterback, that's one thing. Trying to defend against a mobile NFL
Let's go for y'all up
that's
there.
quite another. What's the plan
Good
here
shit.
defensively?
Well, the pass rush has to still try and get to him, especially the guys on the edge. But they're going to go maybe a count slow, right? They want to make sure they don't get too far upfield where he steps up and takes off through a lane. The same is true for those interior guys as well. So you got to change it up with him. Try and keep it.
Damn, good shit. All right.
Just a few yards short.
All right.
A big play there for Philly.
You want to default to the tissue.
Missed that tackle.
Locked up. The tissue is the real world answer, where the soil might look right, but there's a complex.
First and goal, a chance for an early statement here on the road.
These tips are great for organic farming.
Sanders.
If you did this a couple of times,
it is difficult to find space near the goal line. You always want to have a guy in the game running it who can create his own.
List of materials. Now, on here, there's
second and goal from the one.
They've also got alfalfa meal and soybean meal for our nitrogen sources.
Sanders again, and he's in. Touchdown, Eagles.
And then you can see
Miles Sanders, his third touchdown now on the year. And the Eagles drive right down the field and score on the opening drive.
Manganese and zinc and copper. Potassium sulfate was added in here. Typically, we have other ways of doing it. But
Elliott good with a PAT,
so what I've done,
and it's now
so
a 7-0
I've got all
game.
these open. I've already weighed them out. You can weigh or measure, right? We give you a weight per yard.
Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it
You
away.
can follow the weighing it, which is more precise, or you can follow the volume. And
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a
I'm going
touchback.
to take his recommendations, divide them by 3 to get the amount that I should apply to the take and bake in the 3x3, because there's only about 70 gallons of soil in that. So that's what I did. The first one, bone meal, that's in here. That's this layer right here. It's fish bone meal. That's high in calcium and phosphorus. And I put in 3.33 cups. He was calling for 10 cups. I took a third of it because we have a third of the soil volume. That's in here. Next, alfalfa meal. What I did is a little unique. Instead of the alfalfa meal and the soybean meal, I know he's adding those for nitrogen purposes, and the soybean meal is a seed meal. The alfalfa is a green material.
So Prescott and the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Here's the first carry for Ezekiel Elliott. Zeke with a shake and bake, and he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8. This running game so important for them, and they know that. It helped lead him to a victory last week when he was over 100 yards.
Let's face it, it's their identity, and that's what they want to play to. They want to be that team that runs the ball really well each and every week, and right now we're seeing a pretty good pattern of that happening.
Meal's a little chunkier. Cake is a little bit chunkier than that. And so what I did is I blended it all up, those seeds, in a bullet blender, and I try and go as short as possible. Once it's blended, I stop because I don't want to heat it up. Another tip would be to keep your seeds in the freezer. You can keep that gnarly barley in the freezer. It'll preserve the enzymes for longer. And
Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33.
Won't overheat it. So that's one tip. I've already got 1 cup in here. This is 2 cups. I've already got 2 in
They
there.
run it for the first time with Tony Pollard, and he stopped immediately there. He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2. When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot, he had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
And he will have a Cowboys first down by a couple of yards as they're able to get 4 there on 3rd and 2. Now, Charles, what's the mindset here offensively? You gave up the touchdown pretty quickly. Would it have changed if you had gotten a stop and it would be 0-0 right now, or no?
I wouldn't think so. I think in most cases, just down a touchdown, you know, I mean, we're just getting started here. It should be a long way to go. You think to yourself, stick with the game plan, all the things you worked on in practice. But you have some teams that when they get down, their natural tendency is to aggressively strike back. And let's see if they want to get outside of the game plan we expect and try and be aggressive aggressive on their first series.
And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down.
That's a nice run right there, able to get to the outside, and so many times defenses say, okay, we've got you hemmed in. But if you're running the football, at least you know where everyone is coming from. You don't have to worry about the backside at all. That allows you to run with a little bit more confidence as you traverse down the field.
So I don't overdo the soil. Keep it kind of even keeled. And without a soil patch, you don't want to overdo it. So that's all wet. Craft one on top. Spoon feed this when you get a new flour. Now,
They keep on the ground with Elliott. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber who runs like this early, because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
3 yards remain for 2nd down.
You're trying to be above and beyond organic, not use any of these weird micronutrients. The next thing that you'd use besides natural sources of NPK.
The give is to Elliott. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. You were telling me this yesterday. This is exactly what they want to do on the opening drive, establish the ground game.
Yeah, remember our conversation we were talking about what one of the GMs in the league has told me repeatedly. It's a big man's game, and it's not necessarily size. He's talking about playing some big boy football. Line up, get leverage, knock people back, and establish the run early.
And this one almost intercepted. Not a good throw there, nearly an opening drive INT. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10.
So big 6 is one way to get these, but
a handoff left, Elliott. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. 2 yards the loss, and now 3rd and 12.
And if you put seawater right
after 1, 7-0 on EA Sports.
I just wanted to highlight how the soil test that we got, the description that we got, pretty damn similar to if I did not do this. Did some craft blend, spoon-fed aminos.
A long way to go here on 3rd down for the 8th play of the drive.
I switched over. I did the build-a-beer. I did the coconut water. That would basically fit this prescription.
Prescott.
And it would still follow the build soil wet. Now, instead of following the build soil wet,
that's into a crowd and intercepted. Picked up by Kaiser White. And the Eagles will have solid field position here as they take over at the 45-yard line. Oh, no doubt, a very disappointing end to what was a pretty strong opening drive.
They had 3 points in their back pocket. It was there for them. If you don't like what you see, just throw it away. Make sure you get those points on the board. Don't get too greedy. He forced it there. You saw the end result.
Off the play fake, here's Hurts.
Come on, man.
It
was an easy pick. Playing around out there.
About a defender running with a receiver, but a big part of it is understanding where the football is, finding it. In this case, when it arrived, it wasn't a surprise, and he was able to bat it away.
To throw on 2nd and 10. Hurts. Flushed out right.
There we go.
Thrown across his body, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Trayvon Diggs. And the Cowboys are going to take over once again at their own 37-yard line. Well, young quarterback Charles rolling to his right. I know he's right-handed, but is that one that maybe a veteran sticks in his pocket?
I think so, but you have to remember with young quarterbacks, it may take a few years before they get all the stuff out
What
of
the fuck?
For Washington, but the pass intercepted.
That's crazy. Dak, what the fuck going on, man? Good shit.
And it's good to make it 14-0.
Fuck this motherfucker confused, fuck.
So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air.
So we do that right now. But an eighth of a teaspoon is all I need, so I'm barely going to...
Alright, you know what we gotta do, man.
That sails over the end line.
Madden on some bullshit.
So if that's a concern for you, you might want to consider wearing some gloves. I'm just going to wash my hands afterward. Make sure I get all that.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. Early on, you know, Charles, every game could be called a measuring stick game, but I think when it comes within your division like this, it's a measuring stick game with a little extra intrigue.
I would agree with that totally, because all division games have a little extra to them. But I like where this game is situated, because at this stage of the season, it has that little extra juice, but at the same time, it's not a make or break. If this
All right, Dak fucking up early, baby. Madden on the bullshit.
From the 27, Prescott. He finds his target. It's Schultz. And they're able to get this one across the 35.
Dalton Schultz had 1 catch in 16 games in 2019 before producing 63 catches in 2020. I don't think it's hyperbole to say that he exceeded everyone's expectations, including his own.
Meanwhile, Prescott's throw complete into the hands of Schultz here. He's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down. To throw again on second down. Prescott. That'll be taken in there by James Washington.
All right,
He's got this to
let's
the
get something going.
being taken down.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch.
Good shit, good shit. Run that shit back.
They were waiting for him as he'll be knocked down before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. Dak dropping this one off for Zeke. And he has another first down as he'll get the ball down to the Eagles' 15-yard line.
52 catches last year for Zeke, and he's had as many as 77 in a year. I think he's hoping to get a little more stability in his offensive line and, of course, at the quarterback position. And if that happens, all of his numbers will go up.
They'll go with Pollard here
Good
on
block.
first down. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on second down.
That's a strong pickup right there on first down. And as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple. They stay on the ground, but this time it's Elliott. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
2 minutes to play first half. It's 14-0.
Every time you go, you got to feed every day because there's no holding power. And so that is a huge checking account. To make a difference, you've got to make a huge withdrawal, or you've got to make a huge addition to it. So when potting soil is done right, it both has a good savings account that will last as you start to take from it, but it also will start to turn into a good checking account where the balance stays for what's fluid. And you can add back to things to keep it all balanced. What I mean by checking account is this pink one here, the saturated paste test, that was done using...
They'll try to run it in with Elliott.
That's my fault.
They're going to wind up holding him at the 2. No gain there, and it's going to set up 2nd and goal. But down here near the goal line, you don't think of a cornerback in run coverage, but he made the stop.
Yeah, most of the cornerbacks we know, they want to be those pass defenders and take away one half of the field. But the best ones in the game are the complete cornerbacks, able to tackle and run support, as we just saw there.
Good shit. Damn. He should have been in there.
Had the broken tackle, but couldn't get it all the way home. The Eagles going to take the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next.
One of the things that we do at Builder Soil, we need to pass and sulfate for the most part. Now, it's in our builder bloom.
This Eagle defense, they won't give in without a fight. This is 3rd and goal.
It might be needed later.
I don't think he's ready for this.
Seaweed, there's a number of them.
Let's see.
But what we do is when we do it,
Here's Prescott.
Nope.
Touchdown! That's caught. Ezekiel Elliott. His 5th touchdown now on the year.
All right.
The Cowboys have
Let's get back in this.
a score.
And if you think about what a lot of these
Oh, no, that's good. Good crib.
Extra point splits the uprights, and that'll cut the lead down to a touchdown.
But he would talk about all sorts of stuff that seems to be passing rich.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This fielded right at the goal line. And he'll get it up across the 20 to the 21-yard line.
And it makes sense that he didn't have a little bit in the last run, and that it's still at a sufficiency level, but he wants to see more so he gets good yield. So I fully agree with that. When you use potassium sulfate, like you said, but later in flour, I'm just going to use builder build and I'm going to use the focus water. I'm not going to do anything except for this initial reading. When we get the rest of the video going, I'll try not to stop it again. So,
the Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I hear my old college coach right now. He always used to tell us before every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. What they're hoping is that last mistake is their only one of the game.
Coaches, that's all they talk about, turnovers, right?
Minimizing those and maximizing opportunities.
Flush to his right. And just get rid of it.
Well, you most certainly don't want to go 3
Good
and
D,
out
fellas.
get the football right back because your friend, old momentum,
This should be a pick right here.
sidelines about right now. And if you don't convert here, guess what? He's going to make the trek to the opposite side, and all of a sudden, you've got a battle on your hands.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. They'll fake the give to Sanders, and now Hurts. Hurts fumbles it.
Yeah, I'll take it. Damn.
Keep the football, but now fourth down, so they'll have to boot it away.
I do think, though, they're going to look at this as a positive. One, they recovered the fumble, so they retained possession. But two, being able to punt it changes field position for them. Imagine if that turnover takes place there. Now your defense has to go onto the field.
Clock ran down tremendously, didn't it?
The punt team on now is from their end zone. They get it away. And a fair catch called for and taken right on the midfield stripe. 37 yards on the punt with no return. And this offense will take over right at the midfield stripe with a first
Can I
and 10.
pull it off?
Good starting position for the Cowboys here as they come up first and 10. Right at the
Okay.
50-yard line.
No more bullshit going on. Damn. Sorry, it's alright, it's alright.
To this point, I've been impressed with the work defensively. They have not allowed a lot of receivers to run free. And there's another example, another incompletion.
Some organic nitrogen amendments. I'm recommending some plant-based nitrogen amendments, alfalfa meal and soybean meal to really push this nitrogen level up and get things.
Second and 10.
And again, I used the gnarly barley because he was just choosing, right? Once you know the science, you can pick and choose whatever you want.
Now Prescott.
Follow the description, but instead of using
Fuck! Make that tackle, make the tackle, make the tackle. Ah.
Darius Slay with a pick.
God damn it. Just the D.
He takes this one back into the end zone, and the Eagles defense gets a
Good
pick
D, good
6
D.
TD.
It ain't over.
Phosphorus and some of those
That was a nice catch, and not by the guy you thought it was going to be. How about the defender turning into an offensive player as soon as the ball hits his hands, and off he goes, off to the races,
Get to rock
and into the
next.
end zone.
Elliott
Second
good on the
half.
extra point, and it's now 21-7.
Fuck.
So not
All
much
we needed
time
was
to speak
3.
of remaining in this first
Shoulda ran that
half as the kicks
motherfucker.
away.
round two with just a little bit of nitrogen. We'll be good to go. Of course, with those
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback.
Based off of our testing and modeling, so you have good success with it. But if you're not using it,
The Dallas offense here set to begin the
Back on
drive.
that bullshit.
We'll see what they opt to do with just 14 seconds remaining until intermission.
that's it. That was the whole video.
Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say
Yeah,
it's
we got
incomplete.
problems right now.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes.
Major problems right now,
He's got
fellas.
second and third down to fall back on.
Following the incomplete pass, here they go again, second and 10 from the 25. Not wanting to take a chance this time, they'll keep it on the ground. And a pretty good run, all things considered. Probably would have liked that in the first quarter instead of right now as the clock continues to run.
Come on in. I want to mix this together and get it right.
It's alright, we got weed.
Because I'm going to get all dirty and sweaty mixing this stuff in, and I'd rather talk about it right now. So, the seeds. I haven't been here.
Final play of the half, Prescott.
But they all sprouted, and thankfully, because I put them in the soil.
He'll fire deep downfield for Lamb. And he's caught on the sideline, but he's not going to have a first down. They say he was out of bounds, so a big call there that brings up fourth. So we've reached halftime here, and it's our visitors, the Eagles, leading this one. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports.
We get the rock back, we cool.
So sometimes when they're older, I like to pre-soak them. And I didn't pre-soak this time. I just put them straight into the soil and went for it. I kind of like just going straight in the soil, though. Anytime you have the chance to it seems like they do really, really well that way. So I'm going to keep one of each. Obviously, that one is going to be one. I keep that. Out of these ones, I'm going to respond to all which makes identifying it as a supply all the more important.
Hey, Coach, thanks very much. Fine work as always. As we welcome you back for quarter number 3.
No, I can't.
Exactly what grip setup I'm going to use because there's 1,000 ways to do it, and the whole works just great for me. So I'll discuss that with you. The clones, look at them, jumping inside. Really beautiful color on them. You can tell like when they were first cloned.
It's the Cowboys who get the football first, and they trail here as well as we resume action in the third quarter. Now Pollard. And taken down just past the 20 at about the 21-yard line.
Let's do what we do.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And they trail here to begin the second half. What's going to be a key for them to get back in the game?
I think they're right there, and I think this game is still up for the taking for them because we always talk about turnovers. They had 2 of them in the first half, and once you start talking about if you have 3, 4, or 5, you know it's beyond difficult to try and win a football game with that. Those have to be eliminated. If they take care of the ball, they've still got a shot.
Day 1, starting bed where we transplant. I could have counted day 1 earlier, but a lot of you...
Elliott going to get it again on second down. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. They wind up losing a couple there, so they go behind the original line of scrimmage, and now 3rd and 11 coming up.
Definitely need to pick some new plays.
Prescott now.
This is the build this way. You do have downtime between rounds.
To the right side and complete to Washington. And he will have a Cowboys first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
I'll give the defensive guys a little bit of credit. They didn't let the deep ball beat them on that play, did they?
No, the drag, that guy can be your safety valve. We saw it right there.
Yeah, they picked up a first down for him, too.
Elliott a first down and more. And gets it across the 50 and down to the 48. So from Philadelphia territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. Elliott in a pretty big hole as he's down to about the 40. 75 yards for him on the ground now. He has been a tough man to bring down all night.
Hey, when you get good yardage like that on first down, it really does a whole lot of good for your entire offense. But I love the way he's finishing those runs. At the end of things, he's making sure he gets just a little bit extra.
And he's taken down inside the 30.
A big hole there. How about him handling the point of attack? Just positioning himself so that run could go right off of his backside and deep into the secondary.
Okay, that's already got mixed. See what it looks like, just a whole bunch of organic amendments. What I'll probably do is maybe do the PDF of the recommendation I got and our soil test and post them on.
First down, and it's Pollard again. And after the good gain last play, this time they say, as he's going to be stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
So now, I can use a scooper, I can use my hand. Essentially, I just want to make sure there's no real hot spots here, and I want to evenly spread this everywhere. So I'm just going to
now Prescott. He'll find Lamb.
Come on, they got to be rough in the passer or something.
And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. Only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
Temporarily out of field goal range now as they come up on a 2nd and long after the holding call. Looking to throw. Prescott.
Get the fuck out of
You get the
here.
sense that they're saying we're not playing up to what we're capable of, and we're deep enough into the game that the early jitters are long gone, that they should now have some sense of continuity and be able to make some of these plays that they have not been doing so far.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. An incredible play there. They do get big yardage, but they're still stopped a yard or two short, and it's 4th down.
Get it kind of everywhere evenly. The gnarly barley and the fishbone. Most of the ball.
They'll run it with Elliott.
Good shit.
And indeed, he did not. They stop him. Ezekiel Elliott not able to get it past the marker. And the Eagles defense able to hold.
Some people are going to be very particular about tilling the soil, even slightly, but I'm not as particular. And so what I like to do is just kind of start ripping and pulling. Very young cover crops. I'm not like ripping it really deep.
The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly, because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
Still 3rd quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they? And now we get into the psychology of the whole.
I need the ball back right now.
They almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point,
it ain't gonna happen.
Spot for them to go into attack.
Okay.
Really try to put the hammer
One more
down
chance.
and finish this one off. I like the thought process there. They connected on a big play, and sometimes you find the defense vulnerable. So they went for the bigger shot, went for it all on that one. This time, they were ready for it.
They go play action with Hurts. He's going to take another shot here. That's caught inside
terrible.
the 20. And he takes this down deep on the Cowboys side of the field.
Not enough speed.
A big play there for Philly. Well, make that now 2 completions for him on this drive, and these aren't ordinary completions. They're big ones.
Yeah, these are the types that make a secondary talk to each other, and not in a good way. Oftentimes pointing fingers. Hey, who's got him? Someone cover him. That type of indecision can open up to even more big plays.
They'll run with Sanders.
Oh, shit, I gave that to him.
End zone for an Eagles touchdown.
Good game. It's a wrap.
With a 2nd touchdown of the game, 4th of the year. And the Eagles add on to their lead. Elliott good with a PAT. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21.
We'll get him next time.
Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away.
And as you can see from our results, the soil testing is a phenomenal recipe. Take it. If you'd like to make it, watch
and this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback.
And I mentioned in that, I mix soil and half. When I make the soil from scratch and use it for myself, I'm proud of it.
The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. And last time out, went for it on 4th down, turned it over, gave them great field position, turned it 6 points, so they've got to recover here, Charles.
It's amazing what one decision can do in the chain of events, right? The decision to go for it on 4th down.
Caused all of that.
It caused every bit of it, but it showed confidence. Hey, I've got confidence in you guys. Go pick it up for them. Didn't happen. Also showed confidence in the defense. They didn't pick up their end of the bargain, so now they've got to come back out and start over and rebuild that confidence.
Or you can maybe copy what we're doing here today, and I'll publish the results. So trying to be as transparent as we can be.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
We're happy to share. Here we go.
From the shotgun, it's Prescott. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. They'll wind up getting 7 on the play, and it'll make it 2nd down. 1 quarter remains here as we wrap up the week on a Monday night. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
It'll take me quite a while to get to the gallon this way, so it's not like I'm really putting it
From the 45 on 2nd down, Prescott is going to launch it for Washington. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
This
Good
defense
D.
was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
It was our best chance.
Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. The Cowboys on third down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This time it's 3rd and 3.
Good hit.
He'll have the first down, but he winds up paying for it pretty good. On 1st and 10, Prescott. And he'll go underneath here to Elliott. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down. Another carry tonight for the workhorse Elliott.
I was just about to talk shit.
Line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain on the play, and now they're faced with a 3rd and 1. The Cowboys on 3rd down. They've hit 4 of 7. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. Prescott from the gun.
Wow.
Incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
You might actually get way too much sodium, way too much potassium and have an excess situation, and that's a little different than we don't have.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. Desperation time, Prescott on 4th. And he's able to hook up with Michael Gallup. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. 4th down, trailing in the 4th quarter. They felt compelled to go for it, and they got it.
Well, I look down at my play sheet, and what I would find, plays have been successful throughout the game that have worked in the distance you need, and that's exactly what they got done.
And all the way inside the 15 before they drop it.
Well, this game was decided a while ago, and that completion there is going to artificially inflate his passing numbers. So right now, the only one really applauding probably his agent as he thinks about angling for a new contract.
Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Out of the gun, it's Elliott.
Wow. Motherfucker.
Can't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. You need your wide receivers as
Madden, you punk motherfucker.
The big runs are often a result of what they do on the perimeter. In this case, got caught holding, and this one will come back.
And that's where everything breaks down. You also notice that I don't just make like a cake, it makes a brick.
After the penalty, it's Elliott. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line.
You just make a layer of mineral turn it into a brick.
On 2nd and 12, Prescott. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. He's down inside the 10 to the 8, and it comes on a gain of 8. Now the Cowboys going to burn the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this.
We're going to let this sit for a couple days.
The Eagles call on the extra defensive back here as they prepare for a stop on 3rd down.
I encourage you, don't throw your shoulder away. Keep it. That 2nd round, that 3rd round, that 20th round, they get better.
Prescott to throw it. Swinging this out for Pollard. Touchdown, Cowboys! Tony Pollard, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Cowboys have got it back to a 2-score game here in the 4th. Point after, right down the middle. And the lead will be cut down to 14. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. On the return, Boston Scott. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25.
I think you can trust the soil doctor. We're going to display the results. If you get something you have questions on, a whole crew here can help. Zach, he does soil test here for Build a Soil and helps in customer service. You can live chat us, email us, and like always, in these videos here on YouTube, put it right here in the comments and questions section. We'll do our best to address it.
The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. Well, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this 4th quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
Hope that helps. Like, subscribe, share with your friends.
Clock continuing to run. They'll probably wind this all the way before snapping it on 2nd down. Throwing is Hurts. Out to his left. Nothing open downfield, so he'll throw it away.
Oh, I like that right there. Not only was it the right play, throwing it away like that, frankly, I think it was the only play.
Yeah, got outside of the pocket, realized he had nothing, just chucked it free.
Yeah, lived to fight another down, right?
They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. Here's Hurts to throw. And the Cowboys pressure gets there this time for the sack. And that'll bring up 4th down on the big sack with a loss of 5. The Eagles send out their punter now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports.
Welcome to the Wrestling Garden. Today I want to show you what over-fertilizing your seedlings.
So it's Eagle football here as we get you reset. And they've got a 4th down here in a game that looks to have been decided already.
Is to realize that your seedlings are going to start out healthy.
His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well.
Straight liquid fertilizer a couple weeks into growth.
Nice footwork at the 25.
Make sure you use F-strength liquid fertilizer, and you can do it.
It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10.
Just establish a routine.
Thank you, baby.
Don't start doubting. You need more. More fertilizer can be bad. This is what happens when
Thank you.
plants that were over-fertilized by probably 3 times the strength of a liquid fertilizer. The leaves
Thank you.
have dried out and shriveled up. The plants are spindly and
All right, baby.
just not strong. They don't stand up. Here you can see the leaves.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And that last drive, not just that, they had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look close.
Thank you.
And that was amazing because that drive went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10.
Salts in the soil will actually draw water out of the plants, damage the leaves,
Here's
damage the root
Dak.
systems. Now, when the root
He's going to
systems
let it
get
fly.
damaged, and they're trying to
Oh, come on, man.
Tried to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
really from damage.
Back-to-back incompletions, but we know this is definitely 4th down territory. Time not on their side. I don't think they want to try and get the 1st down in 2 installments. I think they got to go and get it right here, right now.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. Prescott.
And it just doesn't look like they have to be playing. This is not
Ooh, good pass interference over there.
And that should do it.
Good game, good game.
And the return this time will go out to the 42-yard line. Well, we knew this was going to be a tall order anyway, down 2 scores with this little time remaining, but that interception puts it in to any hopes that they had.
All right, partner, work with me here because obviously scoring a touchdown, getting the onside kick, then going down, scoring again. Well, that's asking a lot, isn't it? And that's really not a great expectation to begin with. I think they'll look back on this game and see what got them in this spot in the first place and say to themselves, we really gave this
Are you trying to run it up on us? Motherfucker.
Eluding the pressure right.
And again, I just want you to remember,
And they'll get this to the 30-yard line.
You trying to run it up on us.
That was an excellent job of recognizing the
I'll
situation.
remember that.
His first read wasn't there. Heck, his second read wasn't there. But he bought himself a little extra time scrambling out of the pocket, got to the sticks, and picked up the 1st down.
You really just want to put in a lot of water, let the water kind of pour out, and hopefully you start
Not
taking out
totally
some of
home
the
free
salt
yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10.
You don't need a lot of fertilizer.
Hurts a handoff to Sanders.
And too much will actually damage.
And they'll be inside the 25 now at the 24.
When do you fertilize?
It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4. Good gain there on 1st down, and keeps him in a running situation probably.
They did everything right on that play, didn't they? They got the leverage up front, good blocking, nice hole for him, ends up picking up nice yardage, stays in bounds to keep the clock rolling. They are in charge of this scenario right now. They want to stay that way.
Not in any rush offensively. That one looks like he'll throw
When a
here.
seed germinates, The seed code, the seed
And
itself.
that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bottling him up defensively, and now it brings up third down.
That's the first set of leaves. That's the clue when a plant gets its first set of leaves about this size that you might want to fertilize it. Now, we're going to fertilize. Our seed starts with water-soluble fertilizer. That's what's really important. Water-soluble
Now they
fertilizer
face a
is in
third down and 4 after that incompletion on second down.
Put into its system. Now there's two kinds. You can buy organic fertilizer. Oops, this is the organic
From the
fertilizer.
gun,
This
it's
is the chemical
Hurts.
fertilizer. You can use either one.
And this pass broken
I don't
up.
know what's available.
The contact well timed there, and now
Stop my
fourth
pick.
down.
From a defensive perspective, they had exactly what you want anytime they want to throw the football. There was pressure on the quarterback. They were getting after him, and they tightened down on the receivers and forced the incompletion.
The chemical fertilizers are usually pretty high. Like this
Now to try the
NPK,
Eagle field goal, Jake Elliott. This to make it a 3-score game late.
These aren't outdoors and containers or anything yet, so putting too much fertilizer.
The kick by Elliott is good. And that'll push the lead up to 17. Well, he was a spectator for much of this game. This is his first field goal opportunity of the entire contest, but he's able to connect.
Yeah, he had a pretty good seat to this one, didn't he? But let's face it, all kickers that you and I know, they want to contribute. They want their opportunity, and he seized his.
3.75. This will be down to 7.5. That'll be down to 3.75. That's close enough to a 5.55. So we're using this, something like this, at quarter strength. The Joe's is an organic product. You can use it just
The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. Their mini two-game win streak appears it might be going by the wayside unless they can pull a rabbit out of their hat.
Yeah, we got our ass beat. We'll be back next week.
Shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Throwing left side, it's complete. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield.
I can put my defensive cap on right now, and I know they're saying don't give up any big plays now. They've controlled this game throughout, and all they want to do is see it through to the end. I think they let their guard down a little bit with that last completion. Sometimes when you're trying not to give up bigger plays, you don't react as fast as you should on other throws.
Big play to start him out. Has him at the 45 already.
And it looks like iced tea, so make sure you mark on your bins for plants so people don't drink it.
Throwing. Prescott.
So let's just say I just fed this one a little bit.
That's caught. It's James Washington. And he'll be out just a yard or two shy of the 30. Clock management definitely critical here if they want to get back in this game.
Absolutely agreed. They have to up the tempo in this case, down a couple of scores. Want to make sure they have a chance to win this ball game.
The whole process of the 6 to 8 weeks.
And a big loss here as he's taken down. So
Good game.
now with 6 seconds remaining, we get a timeout on the field.
So
We've been running this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. He'll fire deep downfield for the layup.
Yep,
And now here's
that's about right.
interception. A.J. Boye with a pick. And the Eagles come up with a
Good
lead
game.
turnover. But it'll probably only matter to the statisticians as this ball game is now officially over.
We'll bounce back.
So it's a victory here for the Philadelphia Eagles, and maybe more importantly, a victory in the division, which always helps.
Oh, yeah. Damn. I forgot I ain't getting no traits, none of that shit.
Often do you see division games get decided by this much of a margin? Most times, they jumped all over them. In a division game, it's usually a touchdown or less because these two teams know each other better than most teams in the league. In this case, that didn't hold up. On the road, big margin, big victory.
Coach gonna smoke.
That flight home will be good.
Teammates gonna smoke.
So for Philadelphia,
Gonna bounce
they get
back, baby.
in the win column as they move to
Catch us on the
21
rebound.
now on the year. And they'll return home next week to take on the Kansas City Chiefs. Meanwhile, for the Cowboys, they too will exit with a 2-1 record. And they'll be back home next week as they're set to take on the Carolina Panthers.
Welcome to the Rustic Garden. Today I want to talk to you about nitrogen. And it's going to be a lengthy video, but I really wanted to cover what nitrogen is, where it comes from, talk a little bit about organic nitrogen, synthetic nitrogen, processed nitrogen.
What is up, everybody? For you that don't know me, my name is Mr. Grow, and today I'm going to talk about defoliation. Keep in mind that just like most processes, there are several ways to defoliate. In this video, I'm just going to talk about one method. In order to do the defoliation process, I recommend getting a pair of trimmers like these. Happy Hydro sent me over these trimmers, and they're my favorite ones to use when I defoliate. They're comfortable to use in either hand, and these ones are not spring-loaded like most other sets of trimmers. The spring-loaded ones are good for trimming plants after harvest, but when you're trying to get deep down into the plant to defoliate, I found these ones are much easier to use. I will leave a link to these trimmers in the description section of this video. Happy Hydro is giving away 5 pairs of these trimmers. A link to the giveaway is in the description section as well. Now let's get to the defoliation process. Simply put, defoliation is the process of removing the plant's fan leaves so light can get deeper down into the plant canopy. Light drives photosynthesis, and when a plant's canopy is so thick that light doesn't penetrate down into the lower part of the plant, bud development down there suffers. Many growers are adamant that defoliation increases yield as well, since light is able to hit more of the plant's buds. People who are opposed to the defoliation process say that removing the fan leaf stunts the plant's growth and yield suffers because of it. I personally have found defoliation to be beneficial. Here's a plant I defoliated, and now it's about ready for harvest.
Who the fuck is
Just a
these
quick
dudes?
note, this plant was exposed to high temperatures late in the flowering stage,
Alright,
so
they
fox
already
killing
taken
occurred,
care
as you can
of.
see.
Let me
Since I
see.
defoliated this plant, the buds in the lower part of the plant fattened up, and the trichomes
No, we
ripened
gonna get
evenly
it.
throughout the plant. If I didn't defoliate, I probably would have harvested this particular plant in multiple parts. The top part of the plant first, and then the bottom part of the plant a week or so later after that part ripened. So what is the best way to defoliate? That's a common question without an easy answer. The truth is that everyone has their own ideas about the best way to defoliate. If you ask 10 different growers, you'll probably get 10 different answers. So feel free to listen to this one method and then make your own adjustments according to the research you've done. I personally start defoliation late in the vegetation stage after I've done enough plant training to get the shape of the plant to be flat and wide like a table. Depending on the plant strain, the plant typically becomes bushy at this point. This is a good time to defoliate to get light down into the plant. Defoliation will also increase the airflow, which will help prevent powdery mildew, which often occurs when leaves are laying on top of each other. Here is some video footage before defoliation and after defoliation, so you can get an idea of how many leaves I take off. Remember, there are many methods to do this. I'm just showing you one. I'm usually pretty conservative when it comes to defoliation. I wouldn't be surprised if people comment on this video saying I didn't take off enough leaves, or some people even saying that I took off too many. You may not need to defoliate if you see lots of stem and bud sites already exposed, so some strains will naturally grow leggy enough that they don't really need much, if any, defoliation to expose those bud sites or increase air circulation. After I defoliate late in the vegetation stage, wait a few days to about a week or so for the plant to recover before I flip the plant into the flower stage. Another thing I do before forcing flowering is the lollipopping process, which is removing the lower third growth of the plant. I won't be talking about the lollipopping process in this video, but there are many videos on YouTube that show you that process, so search to learn more. When in the flower stage, I typically defoliate on days 7, 14, and 21, but it really depends on the plant's growth. The first 3 weeks of the flower stage, the plant is still stretching and is still focusing a lot of its energy on creating leaves. After those 3 weeks, bud development starts to switch into high gear. So those first 3 weeks of the flower stage, often referred to as the stretching phase, is a key time to defoliate. What I sometimes like to do is what I call the skirt method. I'll leave some of the bigger fan leaves towards the lower part of the plant intact, which kind of makes the plant look like it's wearing a skirt. The reason why I like to do this is just in case the plant encounters a mobile deficiency, those big leaves will be impacted first. I'll be able to see the problem, and then I can correct it before it moves up the plant. If I instead remove those leaves and the plant then becomes deficient, the smaller leaves connected to the bud sites are impacted instead, and that gives me less time to fix the issue and limit damage. I also sometimes like to defoliate before flushing the plant, close to harvest. It's usually around day 45 of flower or so, depending on the strain. I found that defoliating a few weeks before harvest helps with ripening the lower bud sites. That's pretty much it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, please click that thumbs up button, and I will leave it at that. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, peace.
Today is episode 30, and this is a big one because it's harvest day. So today, what we're going to focus on is chopping the stalk, but we're going to try and do whole plants in this area, make it a little bit easier. We'll chop the stalk, and we'll set the plant in the tub, ready to go until it's ready to be hung. In the areas where there's frog screens, we are going to be cutting as little as possible to pull the branches through. And essentially, all I have to do is chop this all down today and hanging it in a tent. And we'll discuss a little bit of that more later as far as the process. Essentially, I'd like to get it closer to 60 degrees, 60% humidity for over 2 weeks, maybe